Hi everybody, so today I've got two new releases to show you. I've got this Rabanne eyeshadow, which has just been added to their collection. Handbag palette quads. So this is the new cool tone shade, which has just launched, and this one is called Don't Be Shy. So I'm going to give you swatches of this and try on a full look, giving you my first full impressions of this eyeshadow. And I'm super excited to be showing you these two new Flush blushes from Glow Recipe. Look at these, aren't they adorable? I'm actually wearing everything I've just shown you already on my face, so you're going to get to see how these work, what my thoughts are on them, and you can also give me your thoughts hopefully. And if you're new here, hi, my name's Hannah, I'm 48, I'm not a professional, I'm just somebody who loves makeup and beauty. And here on my channel, I review the latest releases, show you my favourite looks and give you any beauty news you might be interested in. If you think you'd enjoy that sort of content, I would love it so much if you subscribe to my channel, it is ever so helpful. And if you're already subscribed, welcome back, I appreciate you being here very, very much. And my skin tone, if it's helpful for matching up with the colours I'm wearing today, I've got fair to light skin with neutral / cool, more cool undertones, and I've got blue eyes. Anyway, that's enough about me, let's get straight into this review. So first I'm going to look at this eyeshadow palette from Rabanne, but before I do anything else, let me play you my swatch video, so here it is. This is a new addition to the collection. There are currently 4 other quads, so this is the 5th, I believe, and we have a cool tone, which is excellent. And these have metal, matte, sparkle and gloss finishes. So we have lots of different types of finishes here, and they swatched really beautifully. I've already got this one in green, and I think I've got it in another shade. I can't think what it is now, but I know I loved the green one. And these are high impact eyeshadows, apparently, according to their website, delivering up to 10 hours of vibrant colour and comfort with no fallout, using a vegan makeup formula. So going by the swatches, I think the very darkest could work if I use it first in a sort of light wash. I know that might sound a bit bonkers when it's the darkest, but I'm going to just take the tiniest little bit of it on the tip of my Wayne Goss No. 6 brush. And I'm going to just start here with this shade, and I will see how blendable it is, because this is the only matte in this palette. So I'd like to start with a matte, and I'd like a sort of light wash of a, is it a light black or a grey? A mixture of both really, but you can see now that it is working. So that's what I'm hoping I can get from it. And I'm hoping that at the end I can use a dense brush to line, to use it to line. So a tiny tap again, and you can see I'm just getting this light wash of colour from it, which is excellent. It's also not massively pigmented. If it was, this would be a lot more difficult. But it might mean it's not as good as a liner as I would have hoped. So we'll have to wait and see on that. And I'm going to run this underneath as well using the same brush, which shouldn't pick up quite as much pigment as I'll get when I try to line with it later. But I have actually applied quite a bit of this now, and it really is very, very, very light, so there's not much pigment in this. I really don't know if it will work as a liner at the end, but anyway, it's working fine for what I wanted it to do as that sort of background transition, but it is taking quite a long time to blend this out evenly, in all honesty. I'm going to switch out to a fluffy brush, hoping I actually get a little bit more on the brush than just that tip I get with the Wayne Goss. Yeah, maybe the Wayne Goss brush was not the best option for what I'm looking for, because look how much more pigment I've got straight away by using a fluffy brush. So that's definitely a better way of doing it, although you are picking up more and it is going to involve more work now to even this out and make it look neat. I'll probably go in with the Wayne Goss at the end to really sharpen up. So I'm taking this into the crease, above the crease, and out here for a bit of a lift. I'm just bringing it slightly onto the lid just there. So I can't say I'm happy with the way that looks. It's patchy no matter how much I've gone over and over and over it. And trust me, off camera, I've gone over and over and over it. So that is not the greatest of starts. So I'm hoping this will improve it. I'm going in with the Shadow 03 from Refa, and I'm going into this darkest shimmer. Now looking at the swatches on my arm, I think this is probably more of a metallic. So I'm hoping now that this will be a lot more smooth and give me a sort of depth that might just cover over where it looks a bit patchy. It's certainly a much nicer formula than the matte. And there, if you can see there, it is pretty much helping to patch up the patchiness. So I'm using that in the outer V, blending it into that deeper shade and then bringing it onto the lid. Just looking at these colours now to decide how far to bring it across. I think I'll take it to about here, so sort of the first third of the lid. Not massively pigmented either, but certainly showing up and definitely much easier to apply. Very smooth formula. I'll do the same now on the other side. With my Refa number 3 brush, I'm going to take this same shade and run this just under the first third, so matching above with below there. And using the tip of the Wayne Goss brush with the same shade, I'm just making sure that this is more visible here above my hooded lid. So just bringing it up with the sharp tip of this brush, which it's really good for. Although the Shadow 03 from Refa would do exactly the same sort of job here. So now I'm going to take this more sort of pinky, it's like a cool pink. And this one's definitely quite shimmery, so I'm going to take this with my finger now on the lid. I'm hoping this isn't just a topper and I can actually see the pink. Although I can see straight away this would work probably better as a topper. It's quite sheer, so it's not a full coverage powder, this one, but I'm building it up and I am getting a lot more now, so I'm seeing the pink, so I'm quite happy with that. So I'm going to take this in the middle of the lid. I'm just leaving that very first sort of almost quarter of the lid. And then just with a fluffy brush, blending all of this through the crease so they all meet together at the top there. And then lastly, I'm going to try this lightest one in that very first quarter of the mobile lid, as well as taking it into the inner corner. Now this has quite a nice sparkly pop, nice bit of brightness, just breaking up from that pink, even though the pink could quite easily go all over the lid. But I do like to have a little bit of a more sort of white on that very inner bit to bring brightness to that part of the eye for me. Taking exactly the same shade into the very inner corner now and actually bringing it slightly up towards the nose, really brightening that whole area. Got quite a pop that has. And doing the same on the other side. It's maybe a bit too much, but I am going to try this one under the brow because it is a white, but it could be a bit too sparkly. I've just managed to get that into my brow, which was definitely a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. But I think it looks nice underneath. Just don't get it into your brow like I just managed to. So just make sure it's below there. Not going into the brow hairs because it's actually highlighting the hairs itself, which I really don't want on that bit there. And so now lastly, I'm going to use my Refa 23 to go into this to see if I can get a liner shade out of it. The pigment I got earlier, I'm really not convinced, but let's hope. Ooh, wait a minute. Well, that's much better. So there we go. You can get a lot of pigment from this with a really dense brush like this. It's actually much better as a liner shade than it was as a blending out matte, which was really tricky, but it's got, I'm really surprised by that because it took so long to build up any sort of colour. It's worked really well as a liner. So I think going back with hindsight, I would probably avoid putting this in the crease at all because it was so hard to blend out. I would just blend this out more and take it out a bit further because this is the shade that really worked. And to be fair, I've gone over where I've done this, mostly using this because this is so much better in the crease. And then this works as a really quite impactful liner, as you can see. So So I'm winging it out a little bit there, and I'm just going to slightly thicken that edge and bring it here across the lash line. So that is the final look. I really like the way this came together in the end. It's a really, really quite high impact look. I didn't expect that. I'm really surprised by it. So if I hadn't gone for that matte in the beginning, I don't think I would be saying one bad word about this. So I was umming and ahhing at the beginning whether or not to do it, and with some formulas that could work really, really well, but clearly with this one it just didn't. It was so much blending out, it was so patchy. So I've pretty much overtaken this shade, as I said earlier, by using this, which blended out. I'm sure this is the metallic. It doesn't say which one's which on the back. Actually, does it? It does. I've just seen on the back it does. So yeah, this is the metal formula here. So this one blends out really, really beautifully. So it works just as well as a matte, really. So that's pretty much what I've got there in the outer V and in the crease, giving me that depth. And if I hadn't done that matte, this look would have taken me 5-10 minutes max. It's not a difficult look at all. These three work together superbly easily, very, very easy to blend, plenty of impact, just the right level of impact. And then this, well, you saw I really packed the brush expecting nothing from it, and I got this much. So you could go a lot lighter than this and just really just like tap gently. It's so bizarre. It's the complete opposite of what I said earlier. But certainly with that dense brush, it worked really, really well. And you can see it's given me a very intense eye look, which I actually really like. And I do love cool tones, even though I probably would go a little bit lighter with this on the sort of everyday look. This is definitely not so much everyday when it's this intense, but for an evening look, yeah, I really like it. I'll just put some mascara on and show you the final look with mascara. So this is the final look with mascara using the Don't Be Shy handbag palette from Rabanne. What do you think? I think it's a lovely cool tone palette, and as long as you use it the way I suggested towards the end, I think it's super easy and it works really, really well. So I'm very, very pleased with it. I think I do need to be careful with all the darkness coming. I can already see some of that powder moving there. I think that's just because I've over applied it, because I went in so heavily expecting absolutely nothing from it. So I might end up getting a bit of the powder, the matte powder, falling onto my face because I've just gone so heavily on the brush. To avoid doing that though, you can wet the brush. I didn't wet the brush. If I had, I probably would have got double the impact actually, and then it would have been incredibly dark. So that's another way of doing it, but a safer way would be to wet the brush, so then you're not likely to get any sort of fallout down the cheeks. But anyway, that's my bad. So there we go. Let's move on now to the blushes. So I've actually gone off camera for a good hour and a half in between the last section and this. So I've left my eyes to show you what happened. The reason I went off for an hour and a half, by the way, is I've actually been waiting for these blushes to arrive, the ones I'm about to show you. So they've literally just been delivered. The delivery times were changing all day, so I was hoping they'd get here bang on in time. But in some ways it's quite good because it's given me the chance to show you what this dark eyeshadow looks like and how it just can fall down like this. And you'll probably notice this eye is worse, and that's because this eye is weeping a lot today, so that's what's causing it. I don't know if you can see the sort of redness and water I've got there. That is because yesterday I did the Charlotte Tilbury review where I did 6 different eyeshadow palettes, and my eyes are really unhappy with me. I think tomorrow I need a full rest from any sort of eyeshadow or products, unless it's just cream tomorrow. Maybe a day off filming actually is called for tomorrow. Maybe, if my schedule allows. But anyway, you can see how I'm having to remove that. So that really does highlight what I said earlier about how it's likely to fall down. So I don't know if I apply this eyeshadow much more gently, will that be sufficient? If I get it wet, will it still do that? Because obviously it's getting wet just from my eye watering. But anyway, that matte is a bit of a disaster in many ways, but the rest of the eyeshadow palette was good, or quad. Anyway, let's get straight into these blushes before I make any mistakes, because it's getting late in the day. It's actually 4 p.m. here, so I'm going to try and get this video out to you today. So these have just arrived. The Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Dewy Flush Plump Even Tone. There we go. I'll never remember that, so I'll just read it out once. So there are just 2 of these, just 2 shades. Now I think ideally these should be used in a more sort of natural makeup look, not really with the sort of eye look I've got on today. So apologies for that, because it's not really the best sort of look. I think these would look particularly good if you're just having a skin tint, a little bit of concealer, maybe a little wash of bronzer in the crease, and then you pop, and maybe a bit of bronze obviously, maybe a cream bronze or just a contour, liquid contour, and then go in with one of these, a wash of these on the cheeks and the lips, and you've got yourself an extremely quick 5-minute makeup look. I think that's really more the intention of these. So what I have done today is I did not powder in this section, so let's just pretend this section of my face is having an everyday easy look, but obviously we're looking at it really with a full face of makeup, which will also give you an idea if it's got that sort of flexibility, and you can use it for both sort of looks, I suppose. Maybe I could powder and show you how it looks on top of powder, but I really don't see the point because it's totally not the purpose of this. But anyway, just to give you a bit more information on these cost £22, and the 2 shades are Watermelon Flush and Berry Flush. It's a tinted cheek serum. It's the first time that Glow Recipe have branched out into makeup. And these will plump your cheeks, brighten dark spots and hydrate whilst providing a buildable natural flush of colour that melts into your skin. They contain 3% niacinamide, which is the ingredient for helping to brighten your dark spots and improve texture and minimise pores. It also has watermelon extract and Centella asiatica, which hydrates and plumps whilst calming down redness. There is also jojoba oil coated pigments in this, which are non-comedogenic pigments which create a naturally hydrated dewy flush of colour. So this is powered by 100% skincare, and this is inspired by Korean skincare. So the suggested usage is use the doe foot to dab the flush onto each cheek, build and layer to get your desired amount of flush, and then you pat into the skin with your fingertips. No brush or expertise required. Well, I'd rather use a brush, but I will tap in the very first time. There's a glow tip. Apply the dewy flush on the lips for a matching flush of colour. So I have actually left my lips, apart from a little bit of liner, completely as they are, so we can try that as well. I'll just do it with one of them, because I'm not washing my lips off. I think my whole face is a little bit fed up with me putting things on and off. So I will start, let's think, I'll start with the watermelon. They're both called Watermelon Glow. It's very confusing because one of them is Watermelon Flush. Why did they do that? That's making life so complicated for me. So these are actually called, I didn't even know that, you know. The name of the product, as I read out earlier, is Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Dewy Flush. But the shades are called Watermelon Flush and Berry Flush. So there's a double watermelon in the title of this one. So here is the box. Lots of information on the box that I've just pretty much read out to you. It's all on the back of the box, so that's quite handy. I do love Glow Recipe. I use a lot of their skincare and I love the packaging, and these are no exception. Look how gorgeous that is. I think just the beauty of it made me want to get it more than anything else. So let's get this open and look at the doe foot. Bit stiff there. So it's a curved doe foot. Bringing out a lot of product there, isn't it? So this one is the watermelon. I'll put some on my hand first to show you. So that's how it's looking on the back of my hand. And now if I just rub this in, so you can see how sheer or not it is. I'm expecting it to be pretty sheer. Yeah. So you can see this is certainly not going to be a highly pigmented blush. This is very much a natural flush as it's described, as I would expect. Now I don't know if it's because I'm wearing perfume, but I'm sure these are supposed to smell a bit like the niacinamide drops, which I've actually got here right now. Here is the Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Dew Drops, and these have a fragrance. Yeah, I can smell the watermelon straight away in the niacinamide dew drops, but I can't detect it in this. So unless it's just very faint, and because I've got perfume on I'm not detecting it. I'll see now when I apply it if I can smell it, but I'm sure they're supposed to be scented in the same way. But anyway, if you're looking for the scent, you could be a bit disappointed. And if you're hoping there isn't a scent, you might be pleased. So let's just do exactly what it said to do, I think. So there's no powder here, so it should go on nicely. And I can probably be quite liberal going by how sheer it is. So let's just pat it in with my fingers. Something I'd rather not do, but let's just see. In fact, let's just... Well, that is going on very, very easily actually. Look at that. Wow, that is really nice. Oh wow, that is incredibly easy. Wow, how natural is that? Even when I've got foundation on, because I've got foundation on fully and I'm wearing powder in my T-zone. So this is meeting powder as we get to about this point. And it's meeting it very nicely. That is really, really nice. And it is a little bit tacky, but not a lot. In fact, if you know me, you know I cannot bear tackiness. I have to powder over it. But I can tell you now, I don't need to powder over this. Not at this amount anyway. If I go in for more, I might feel I want to. But obviously you're not supposed to powder over with these. They are very much a natural flush. Did you see how easy that was? Let's put a little bit more on the higher point, I think. And see if I can build up a bit more pigment at the higher point of the cheek. Feels really strange doing this with fingers because I always use brushes here. But it did go on so easily. Maybe it's even better with fingers. Wow, look at that. It's just melted on. Gosh, I love this. I'm saying that in a really surprised tone because this isn't my sort of product. A sticky, low pigmented sort of product. It's not really my favourite type of thing. I was expecting to find it too sticky and not showing up. But it is showing up and it's not too sticky and it just looks exceptionally natural. It's giving me a lovely glow, the sort of glow that makes me think no highlighter needed today, which I certainly won't do because it almost looks like I'm wearing a highlighter, doesn't it, when you see the lights catching the tops of my cheekbones and around by here. Do you know what, that does not need to be powdered. I'm not even going to show you how this looks on top of powder because it certainly would ruin it. It would ruin the effect, and I've already sort of shown you how this area here is powdered, and as it met the powder, because there's powder here, under the eye and there, as it's met the powder, it has just worked beautifully. You would never know it's meeting the powder or disagreeing with it in any way, so it definitely works on top of powder. It seems to anyway, in the areas I've put it. Gosh, I love that. That is absolutely stunning. And I am planning a video fairly soon for a sort of 10-minute makeup, and this could be a perfect product for that. It really could. Well, that's a fantastic start. So let's try the next one now. So let's get this one out of the box. This one is the Berry Flush. So this is the colour, probably would go better with the eyeshadow shades I'm wearing today. So here's the bottle for Berry Flush. I love them, honestly. I could buy every product from Glow Recipe and just line them up on a shelf because they are so pretty. I really adore them. And right, let's get this onto my hand to show you. Lovely berry shade. And then sheared out. So let's just do exactly the same with my fingers, which still feels very strange. I've got two brushes out ready here to do one each side, and I just really don't want to. It works so well with the fingers. So I put 3 dots for the first one, didn't I? So let's just do exactly the same. I don't know if it'll be too dark, this one on me, if I put 3 dots. Ooh, that looks a bit deep there, but I'm sure it'll sheer out, so I'll just keep going. I'm actually patting with all my fingers, hoping I can get away with this. Thinking I might not actually. I might need to rescue myself with something because that... Let's just see. I'll take my finger on the edge where you could really see it. No, it's working in. It is working in. I was thinking I'm going to have to reach for my foundation sponge, and do a bit of rescue work, but the more I pat it in, the more it just melts in like a natural flush. This is really good. This is actually quite exciting if this is their first makeup product. I know they did sort of bronzy type drops, but I think this is the first real venture into proper makeup. And if they're all going to be this good, wow, am I happy. Look at that. I thought it was going to be terrible and it's just gone straight in. And I don't think it's removing anything from underneath. I don't think. I say that because I can see a couple of freckles, and unless I play the video back, I'm not sure if you could see them before. I don't think it... I did have full coverage foundation on, so you can see a bit of my redness there. So I don't know if it has taken up the foundation a little bit. I'm not sure. What do you think? Do you think it has? I didn't see it happening as I was dabbing it, but now I'm just thinking, why can I see those little dots? So it might have. So that's something to keep in mind, and I don't think you should ever be putting this on top of full coverage foundation like I have today. Like I said, this is very much a mixture of very different makeup. We've got the sort of full glam eye look with a very easy everyday blush. I think over a skin tint you wouldn't really have full coverage anyway, but yeah, I just think it looks so natural. I love it. I don't really want to take any more there, but I'll just do a tiny dab on the top so that it can be a bit deeper up the top like I did on the other side. Because even though it looks quite scary as it goes on, being quite a strong shade on my skin tone, it just, look at that. Look at that. Done. Wow, wow, wow. These are absolutely sensational. They are coming out with the best skincare this year, and I think for mature skin, this skincare based makeup is the way forward, because every time I get anything for review that says it is mostly skincare, it tends to be the thing that works the best on me. And this one is 100% skincare, and this is a skincare brand I love and trust and use so many of their products. So I knew I'd like it as skincare, but I thought they probably won't be able to branch into makeup that well. But I think for their first attempt, this is phenomenal. I love it, and I just think it is incredibly natural. Let's try this one on the lips. Shall I try both? Shall I try one on the bottom, one on the top? I look very strange, but I don't want to touch my lips with it. So I'm taking a little bit on my finger. That is a very cooling, very refreshing feel straight away on the lips. And putting all that niacinamide into my lips is not a bad thing at all. A tiny flush of berry, you can see it, can't you? I think that's really nice. And I'll try the watermelon on the upper lip so you can see if it shows up. That one is probably closer to my skin tone, to my lip colour, so it might not. So this is the watermelon going on my upper lip. Just about see it. Can you see it? Can you see the difference between watermelon and berry on my lips? I can, but it's very faint. I have to rub my lips together now. I just have this burning urge, so they're going to mix. That feels really nice. And my lips will really appreciate that as well, so I can see me using that on my lips quite regularly. It wouldn't work as a locked-in hydration for the day. I think I still need to go in with some sort of lip mask or lip product that hydrates, because this will dry quite quickly. I know from applying niacinamide, it does, my skin absorbs it quite fast, so I would still need something in about maybe an hour's time. Oh, that is really nice. I am very, very pleased. No powder going on these cheeks because I am loving the glow. And I am not hating the stickiness, because the stickiness is incredibly minimal. It really is. It's not something I'm going to notice, and I don't believe that my hair will stick to my face. There we are, that was the ultimate test, because any skincare on my face, my hair immediately grips to it, and it didn't. So there we go. I am very happy, very, very happy. They need more shades. I would buy more and more shades. Don't just have 2 shades. We need another, I don't know, 15 please. And we need more makeup. I want all my makeup to come in bottles like this, colours like this, finishes like this. Oh, I need more and more and more. That is glorious. I am delighted, I really am. I would love to hear your thoughts on this video and everything I've tried on today. Have you ordered any of the things I've just shown you, or are they on your wish list? I just got these from Cult Beauty here in the UK, so I have, no, wait a minute, I got it from Sephora UK. I have linked that below. I do actually have a discount code for Sephora, which gives you 20% off, and that is HANSPH, I think. I will double check that and I will put it below. It doesn't always work on every product, and I got a feeling it didn't work on this when I ordered it, but I always forget to mention for Sephora UK I do have that code, so, and it does work on quite a few products but not everything, and I got a feeling Glow Recipe might be one of the ones it doesn't. So anyway, just getting that in case it's helpful. But yes, very, very pleased, and I would love to hear your thoughts on these products and whether or not you're putting them on your wish/buy list, or whether it's even on its way to you now, or whether you absolutely hate it and don't plan on getting any of it. Whatever your thoughts are, I would absolutely love to hear them. And if you have enjoyed this video, please do hit the like button, and if you enjoyed it, please hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. It is super, super helpful. And if you're already subscribed, thank you so much for being here at the end of one of my videos again. I really do appreciate every single one of you, I really do. And I think I've literally, as I'm making this today, just gone over the 18,000 mark with my subscribers, so thank you so much. It is so wonderful to see those numbers starting to creep up, so thank you very, very much for your support. It really does mean the world to me, and I do hope to see you all again for my next video. Take care everybody, bye.